let's talk about Problemista. Problemista is written by, directed by, and stars Julio Torres. Julio Torres was a writer on SNL, and he plays the lead character in this movie. He plays Alejandro, and all he wants to do is stay in the United States. That's all he's want to do. He is legally working in the United States, and he has to have a job and has to have a sponsor. So there's certain requirements to remaining in the US because his big dream is to not just move to the United States, but it's to work for Hasbro designing toys. And we see a whole montage of the weird toys that Alejandro has created, and they're bizarre. One of the toys is a Cabbage Patch Kid that has a cell phone, and the Cabbage Patch Kids show you weird TikToks or share their day. Like, look at this coffee I just got. It's a ridiculous idea. And Alejandro meets up with a woman named Elizabeth, where Alejandro currently works. He works at a place, this is kind of ridiculous, where they put you in suspended animation so you can see the future. And Elizabeth's husband has been put in suspended animation because he wants to go in the far future. He is an artist that has done a series of paintings all about eggs. Now, a lot of the stuff I'm saying sounds ridiculous because it is, but it's played completely straight in the film. Alejandro then meets the wife of this artist who is in suspended animation, Elizabeth. She is a total Karen. Everything is a problem. She can't order a salad without getting snippy about it. Everyone is wrong except for her, and she is a pain to deal with. And Alejandro loses his job at the place he's working, where they put people in suspended animation, and ends up becoming Elizabeth's assistant. And her goal is to do an art show for her husband, who is now in suspended animation, to make money so she can join him in the future and put herself in suspended animation. She wants to sell all of his paintings, right, to get to the future with him. I know all of this sounds incredibly ridiculous, and Alejandro takes everything with a grain of salt. All these incredibly horrible things happen to him, and he just has this sort of, he just keeps a stiff upper lip. He's got like a good, positive attitude about life. But Elizabeth is a handful. She is such a pain to deal with. And Alejandro does his absolute best to deal with her. She has this whole thing where Elizabeth has a database of all of her husband's paintings, and it's all in FileMaker Pro. And then everyone's saying, well, why don't you just use Google Sheets? It ends up becoming a thing. No, it must be on FileMaker Pro. You've got to learn how to use FileMaker Pro. So Alejandro goes out of his way to his best to learn FileMaker Pro. All of this stuff is completely ridiculous and really takes a turn when Alejandro discovers that one of the toys that he sent in a concept for to Hasbro stole from him. I know everything I'm telling you right now sounds completely ridiculous. And the film is actually narrated by Isabella Rossellini. She's the narrator. And Isabella Rossellini, by the way, recently did the voice of the grandmother in Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. So it's this sort of, it's almost played like a fairy tale. Like it's the story is being told like this weird fairy tale with Alejandro being like trying to be a normal person. The funny thing is Julio Torres as this character Alejandro walks in like a funny way. He kind of has a hop to his walk. It's almost like a childlike hop to his walking. And he walks that way for the whole movie. If he walks across the room, he does the hop walk. It's really, really funny. This is an amazing, fun, weird comedy that is also about life. It's about redemption. It's about art and expression. It's about so many deeper layers and that are not obvious at first. And it's heartwarming. I really just love the film. So I can't. It's the best thing I've seen recently in terms of an indie movie. So I'd say it's the best indie movie I've seen this year in terms of a smaller indie movie.
Hmm.
This isn't comparable to Dune Part Two or anything. I would rank this an 8 out of 10. I just was totally taken with Alejandro's character and his relationship with Tilda Swinton plays Elizabeth. She is horrible. She is like a horrible human being. But Alejandro learns from Elizabeth and learns. Tilda Swinton is nearly unrecognizable in this role. She wears ridiculous clothes. She has this hair that is completely like stupid. She's got all this like, accoutrement that she wears where she looks ridiculous. She looks like an artist's wife, or what you would imagine an artist's wife would look like, expressing herself through her fashion, and she looks kind of weird. And all the stuff related to Hasbro makes no sense. Um, but it's cool. So I went to a screening and saw the Q&A. I'm going to post the video from the Q&A for members only. I think I was the only one filming it. But what was interesting was what Julio Torres said, because he was like, he had an opportunity. It's like he was pitching a movie, and like he said that he was like pitching the film, and it was like he easily could have made a movie about immigrating to America, because he says that part of the movie, which is this small plot, it's like a subplot, it's like a B or a C story to the movie, which is him just trying to get a work visa so he can stay in the US. He said he personally went through that process, but he said the idea of making a movie like that would be stupid and boring. It would just be a boring, like, that's not interesting. But he said he knew he could sell it because that's the kind of stories people are buying these days. So he's this immigrant coming to America, and telling like his struggle story of how because that's boring. I wanted to tell a story that was funny, and fun and had other life lessons. So he really flipped it. It works so well. I just was really taken with it. I'll go see it again. But I saw it with a packed audience, and it's also like it's not super long, it's not what's the running time of this?
Oh,
it's an hour 38 minutes,
yeah.
so just over 90 minutes. But oh my god, if you see Tilda Swinton as this character, she's just so she literally is just the most awful Karen you can possibly imagine, lecturing everyone. And there's all sorts of really interesting things that Julio does in telling the story. They show like his struggles. It's like he's like trying to climb the ladder of life, but ends up back in the same place no matter what he does. And they visually represent this with these giant cubes. There's like, and then, oh my God, there's some other funny things too. Like he's always going on Craigslist, and he thought, well, showing a character going on Craigslist would be boring. So Craigslist is a character in the movie. So whenever he talks about Craigslist, you see a guy dressed flamboyantly weird. I'm Craigslist. What do you want? You want a job? You want this? It's just, what I like is he takes a traditional way that someone would tell a story and he does it differently, right? Like you would show someone at a computer going on Craigslist, boring. He actually talks to Craigslist and asks for what he wants. He wants quick work. He wants a job. And then he just interacts with Craigslist. And so Craigslist is a recurring character in the movie. It's really creative in the way it's told. It's funny. It's heartwarming. You feel for Julio, and it's not super woke or lectury either. Even though it's about, I just want to work and stay in America. That's it. And he has this beautiful relationship with his mother, who inspires him. She's an artist. I don't know. I was really taken with it. Best film I've seen this year. 8 out of 10. I recommend it. And just from the creative way that the story is told, home run for me. Home run.
All right. Well, you sold me. I wasn't sure I was going to see it, but now I'm going to see it.
Oh, you would love it. Yeah. Let's go to our chat comments and questions here before we bring on our special interview guest for today. Let's see. His toy ideas sucked. Tilda Swinton was insufferable, says Mike MC Wong. That's the point. The point was his ideas for toys were bad. It's called humor, Mike. I don't think Mike liked this movie. Too bad.
She was too good at the role. That's what he's saying.
Mike is complaining about the film, and these are spoilers. Mike, I'm sorry, I'm not going to post your comments.
Okay, I wasn't sure about that one.
Yeah, no, but these are no. The
Okay.
point is Tilda Swinton is insufferable. The point is his ideas for toys are ridiculous and over the top.
Yeah, and I think Mike's point was Hasbro is the perfect foil in this movie.
Yeah,